Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. In today's video, I want to have a look at Litecoin. Now, it's been a while since we covered Litecoin, about a month, and with the halving coming up soon, the Litecoin halving in August, I wanted to sort of keep you updated on the project. I know if people, especially around now, will be looking for information on the coin, and I know that a month-old video from me isn't going to answer all the questions that they're going to have, because things are going to be changing, and it's not the most up-to-date information. So I thought that a video was long overdue. Now, getting straight into it, we can see these sort of guides that I made from the last video have sort of held up. This downward one seems to be on the money, but this upward one, I suppose, sort of correct, even though we had a downward beforehand. Anyway, I'm going to remove these because, we might not really need them for this video. We can add more later on if we need it. Now, of course, Litecoin it's currently had a big pump. It broke above 100 and stayed above there for a few days before only just coming back down now. We're at this 100 level. Long story short, I think we will hold above this level until the halving. I think we might even climb back up here, and then with the halving, which is sometime early August, I'm pretty sure. I think they've all been basically very early August, all the halving dates. I know there was one 2015 and 2019. We can have a look at those soon. I think they were both very start of August. Litecoin often drops on its halving date and afterwards of the halving, because it's the same with Bitcoin. Once it's halved, there's sort of this panic from miners where they sell a lot of the Bitcoin that they have now, and people worry because, of course, it's becoming a more finite supply, and people are worried that people will panic, and there's a whole it always goes down in price with the Litecoin and with Bitcoin. And we'll have a look here now just to check for you. We'll go back to 2015. Okay, we don't actually have 2015, my bad. 2019 we will have a look at. And 2019 August, I think it was more or less bang on beginning August, we can see that the price basically drops. It sort of rallies a bit towards, has a few legs up, has a few legs down, kind of, mainly dependent on general crypto sentiment at the time. And of course, we were sort of coming down from the bull run here. Bull run was 2017, really. That's when we had peaks, like this guy here. So it spent the better part of a year sort of in the bin, more than a year, and then it finally comes up. The sort of hype around its halving drives up its price, even during sort of the bear market or recovery period of the market. 2019 August, July, and we can see the price just basically goes to the bin, goes to the dogs basically. From the halving, which we'll just guess and say is the first, I'm gonna say it's probably the first, which actually it's priced currently at the moment, which is quite funny. It basically, for the rest of that year, or for at least, for half a year afterwards, just goes down, and it goes down 63%. Now, it's a similar case with the 2015 halving. Litecoin sort of picks up slowly as it goes along, and then halving hits, big sell-off, and then there's no more hype for Litecoin immediately. The effects of the halving won't take place immediately. It's something that's what people would say priced in. So it's not like an instant change where Litecoin suddenly becomes way more valuable because it's become less inflationary. It becomes, the hype drives up the price beforehand, and then coming to crunch, price will honestly just be volatile. There's no way of really knowing. And then afterwards, and on the halving date, Litecoin often bleeds, and bleeds for a long time. And now if we go back to today, we can see that for a while we've had this climb up. And I mean, to be fair, we haven't had a sort of big drop off like we did with the 2019, where we sort of climbed this mountain and climbed back down it. You know, so far we've just sort of really stayed at this range, and we broke past 100, which is good. And I think maybe in the next few weeks we'll sort of climb above here. I think maybe we could see something like, you know, a little rise up happening, you know, something like this, back to this sort of level, test here, and we'll test that just in time for sort of the halving. And then once the halving arrives, which is whatever date, early August, we'll just, you know, literally crash back down to this sort of level. Now if we use our Fibonacci retracement levels, which we used in a video not too long ago, sorry, that's the wrong button. If we use our Fibonacci retracement levels, we can see that if we go to its lows, Litecoin has sort of just bounced off this second highest level. It's hit the 0.786 level here, and it's just crashed down below the 0.618 level, where it's been sort of bouncing and fluctuating in and out of for the last few months. Since the beginning of the year, really, it's been sort of in this zone, and it, you know, it's bled down here a bit, but recently it's only climbed back up. Now it's back in. I think we'll climb back up, and then I think we will literally see a sort of reverse of this movement. I think we'll see a very similar downward movement play out for Litecoin after the halving, like it always does with its previous halvings. Because, you know, there's no more bullish sentiment once the halving has actually happened, and it's often quite a sell the news, like with the Ethereum Shanghai upgrade, where it went to proof of stake instead of proof of work. I don't think the price actually climbed that day. I think the price dropped. It closed lower. I mean, we had wicks during the day, sure, of people just aping in on the news, assuming that it would moonshot, but I think it closed lower than it opened that day. And often halving events and you know, big news events like this during a bear market, which they often take place in, they're just sell the news events, because you get this new money coming in, lots of hype around it. You know, people make news articles about it, people put money into it just in case it, you know, takes off. You know, that sort of sentiment slowly brings the price up and up. And then on the day you have degens throwing money at it, and then people sell into those degens with the bags that they bought down in November here, you know, and they make a 2x on their money in 6 months, 7, 8 months, 9 months, whatever. So to be honest with you, I think in my last video I said you'd be good not to be holding a Litecoin during this time. I sort of made the point that Litecoin is going to struggle over the next year. It's not going to perform well. It never does, usually after the halving. Like, you know, as we can see here, it just bled for basically, let's see how long it bled for. Let's find August, September, August, beginning of August. It just bled more or less, you know, for over a year, really. For in fact, really a year and a third. It just went down. After this slow, steady crawl up, it just makes a small, steady crawl down. And I think we're going to see the same thing again, like we do with Bitcoin often. Well, Bitcoin is often bad, but for not as long. Usually when Bitcoin has a halving, a bull run isn't too far behind it, but it is always a sell the news event. It does usually close lower than it opens, and Litecoin is no exception. I think we will see something like this play out. I don't think we'll break past this 0.786 line. If we do, it'll be a wick, it'll be nothing more. It'll be a 1 day, 2 day sort of thing. I'm sure we'll retest this level. I don't think we're going to go straight down from here. Again, maybe we will. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know the future. This is predictions of past performance. You know, not financial advice. But I don't think we're going to break past this line. Not this year, anyway. You know, I'd love to be wrong. I don't currently own any Litecoin, but for those that do, I wish you well. I think, to be honest with you, you're going to suffer if you don't sell your Litecoin soon, in my opinion. Again, it seems to be at a good price now, like 100 quid. A month ago when we made this video, let's say June, whenever, we were looking at, this would have been the peak price that you would have had, and I think we were even talking around 78 quid when I was filming this video, which would make sense around the 9th of June. So, you know, if you've held through that advice of mine when I was telling you, like, paying ahead for Litecoin, I did say we'd have one wick up. You saw my arrow, and it sort of followed that to a T, especially with the downward pull. So, you know, if you put any weight in my words and you held for this pump up and you sold here, I think that's probably the best move you could have made. If you haven't, if I were in your shoes, I would probably be dollar cost averaging out of Litecoin now, at least, and I'd be selling my, you know, amount all gone before August, sort of thing. If you want to hold a bit, like maybe 10% of your Litecoin holdings, and just see what happens after the halving, you never know. I might be totally wrong. It might break its historical patterns, and it might, you know, break its sort of what's historically happened with Bitcoin during the same event as well, in a bear market as well. I might be wrong, totally. And if I am, please point it out to me, laugh at me. We'll look at this video again. I think I'll have a look at it 1 or 2 days before the halving, just to see how this current prediction has held up. It'll be interesting to see. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want any video recommendations, or if you want any other coins checked out, please leave a comment. I will reply to you and do my best to cover the video you want. So thanks very much. Really appreciate it. And yeah, see ya.